From time to time, I like to examine some of those amazing facts that everybody knows about Germany and ask, but is this true? And for this video, I have chosen the subject of babies' names. Is it true that in Germany there are laws about what you can and can't call your own children? The answer is no, but yes, which I realise is confusing, so let me explain. In general, given names are not regulated by any actual law. There are some relevant laws. For example, there is a law regulating name changes on adoption and a law giving transsexuals the right to change their name to something matching their preferred gender. Apart from that, it's basically an administrative matter. Essentially, the registrar can advise parents on names and has some guidelines to help. If the registrar and the parents can't agree, it's up to a judge to decide. The most important thing for the authorities is that the child is, in later life, not exposed to ridicule. For example, in 1996, a judge in Kassel told one couple they couldn't call their daughter Borussia. That's the name of a sports team. According to the guidelines, a given name should be immediately recognizable as a given name and cannot normally be a surname, although there are some surnames that are derived from given names. But basically the idea is you can't call your child something like Schmidt. You can't give your child a name that might be religiously offensive, and you can't give your child a name that is traditionally associated with somebody evil. So names like Judas or Darth Vader are definitely out. Well-known place names and brand names are taboo, as are titles like Lord. In 1963, for example, one couple was prevented from calling their daughter Princess Anne. It used to be that a given name had to be obviously either male or female, but a court ruling in 2008 said that at least neutral names were perfectly acceptable. And this is the advantage of doing it this way rather than laying down fixed laws. Names are, after all, subject to fashion, so you need a bit of flexibility. There are sometimes practical considerations as well. In theory, you can give your child as many names as you want, but in practice you'll probably be restricted to about 5. After all, at some point your child is going to grow up and is going to have to start filling in official forms like visa applications. It's not true that you're restricted to a name that appears on an official list. Yes, registrars do have lists of names, but they're just recommendations. Part of the job of the registrar is to research names and to warn of possible pitfalls. For example, one couple was dissuaded from calling their daughter Perdita. It sounds beautiful, but the registrar pointed out that it is in fact Latin for depraved. Of course, that was at a time when Latin was much more commonly taught in schools. These days, who knows, it could be allowed. Sometimes there are really tough calls. In 2009, a Berlin court had to consider the name Jihad. What made it worse was that the father, an Egyptian, was under investigation for possible connections to terrorism. But the court found that Jihad was a very common Arabic name for boys, and you can't ban a name just because some violent fanatics have misused a religious concept in order to justify terrorism and mass murder. So yes, the authorities in Germany do have ways of regulating the names that you can give to your children. But it's not a law, and it's done to protect the rights of the newborn child, who of course has no say in the matter and is stuck with whatever name is given to them. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, why not send me a postcard? Here's the address. Or visit Rewboss.com, follow me on Twitter, subscribe to my blog.